Good evening, everyone. I'm going to take some time here to let everyone jump on as per usual, because it always takes a little bit of time for everyone to find out. Even though we do our part to promote these things ahead of time, it always takes time for people to realize that they're going. Plus, some people that don't see the promotion take a bit of time to come on. But welcome. For those of you that are jumping on, it looks like it's quite a few of you already. If any of you can just let me know that you're hearing me okay, that you're seeing me okay, that's always comforting before diving into an actual meditation to make sure that everyone can hear everything that's going on ahead of time. So if anyone could just give me a thumbs up in the chat, that'd be very helpful, or just let me know that you can hear me. That would be amazing. Awesome. I already see a yes coming through, a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And like we always like to do here at Heal, if you want to let us know where you're tuning in from, you are here live in this moment. I am in Elora, Ontario, Canada, which is a small town about an hour and a half northwest of Toronto, for those of you who are familiar with the city of Toronto. I'd love to know where you're from tonight. Where are you tuning in from? My name is Mark DeNicola. I'm a part of the Heal social media team. I've had the privilege of being a part of the Heal team since before the documentary even came out, which was, as many of you know, quite some time ago now. But I have a lot of love and care for Kelly and Adam for giving me all these opportunities to continue to work with them. I see another person from Ontario, Miami, Naples, Markham, Ontario. Seems like Ontario's dominating tonight. Everyone's up north with me. New York City, Edson, Alberta, Maine. A lot of Canadians out here. That's pretty cool seeing Alberta there as well. Milwaukee. I've been to Milwaukee. It's a great city in the U.S. Underrated city in my books. I've had a great time out there. Maui, beautiful. Texas, Johnson City, New York. I love seeing the diversity in terms of everyone's jumping in from Cleveland, Ohio, another great city in the United States that I love. LA, Missouri. You can never go wrong with any of these beautiful places. Thank you all for being here. New Mexico, Wisconsin. I'd love seeing the variety. Brazil. Oh my gosh, we're getting international. California. Thank you all. As you continue to kind of file in there, I'm just going to let you know once again, my name is Mark DeNicola. I am part of the Heal social media team. Tonight, I'm going to be guiding you through a meditation that is focused on releasing fear and anxiety. So as people continue to file in, let us know where they're coming in from, because I always love to read these even afterwards. A little bit about me. So I'm part of the Heal social media team. Beyond that, I also have done quite a bit of work in the realm of personal development, specifically focusing in the realm of anxiety, with my pinnacle piece being an online course that I created, because anxiety was something that I personally struggled with quite in depth and for quite an extended period of time, to the point that I just felt like I couldn't continue to live my life in that way. And so I kind of became hell-bent on finding a solution for it, and that was quite the process. So once I kind of figured out a medley of things that really work as effective tools to assist me in conquering my anxiety, both back when it was really severe and since, to prevent it from getting to that point, I compiled it all into a course to make that as readily available to other people. And it's something that people can work from, that I hope to provide them with tools that they can kind of add to their personal toolkit, so that whether anxiety or panic or anything like that is a part of their life, they have these same tools to apply. So working with people with anxiety is something that I do quite regularly, in addition to my work with beautiful platforms like Heal, which of course started the documentary, expanded to the podcast and the book, all wonderful resources, wonderful tools. So if any of you, if anxiety, beyond tonight's session, which is going to be focused on really releasing some of that fear and anxiety and using some of the tools within it, if you are curious in learning a bit more about how to conquer anxiety, feel free. I'll actually put my handle in the chat here now, and then of course after, if you're not catching this live, or if you happen to miss the comment, because so many comments are coming in, which is awesome to see, feel free to message me, send me a friend request here, or a follow request, I guess they call it here on Instagram, and reach out. I'm happy to extend to anyone who's on here tonight access to my course for only $10. For me, that's not something I do for money. It's just something that if I can get a little bit something back, just to help for the amount of time and effort I put into it, but I'm not looking to make anything big off it. So if you are curious about that, feel free to message me, but at the very least, enjoy this process. Tonight's going to be focused in on releasing fear and anxiety through a guided meditation. For those of you who have potentially seen one of my other meditations, is the third one I'm leading here on Heal. I tend to, in terms of what to expect, guide a little bit more heavily than some out there, in the sense that you're talking too fast. It's wonderful to get that piece of information. Thank you for that. That's I love constructive feedback, especially before the meditation begins, because as I was just about to say, I will be communicating quite extensively. So I want to make sure it's clear. So thank you so much, Leonardo. It looks like that was. for that feedback. I will do my best. I hope now it's already gotten a little bit better, and especially during the meditation, I will do my best to make sure that my pacing is not too rapid. I am definitely a fast talker when I get excited about things or when I'm excited to share something or to guide a practice, but I will try to keep that in mind. So thank you so much. We'll just give everyone, it's already 5 minutes after, we'll give everyone about another minute here. What I'll do in the meantime is, for those of you who've caught one of my meditations before, you'll be familiar with this. For those who haven't, I'm going to get you to a little bit of a rundown of what our initial breathing technique will be, just to kick off the meditation. So it's not that this is going to be something that you're going to be breathing the entire time. This is just a process for the first few breaths. It'll be 2 or 3 cycles of breath, and then we'll go into the guided process where you're going to be in a natural, normal breathing state at that point. But to begin, this breathing technique is actually something that I garnered from one of the HEAL experts. For those of you who've seen HEAL documentary, and if you haven't seen it, please watch it. From the HEAL expert, Joan Borisenko. I absolutely love her work. And one of the things that she introduced, or her work introduced me to, is a breathing technique that's designed to, through the neural pathways and through GABA and all these different things that are way more scientific than I personally am, literally communicate to your body the intention to settle, the intention to calm, to be present, and to kind of remedy panic and anxious thoughts. So this breathing technique, which you can practice now, but we'll do it to kick off in just a second or so, is a deep inhalation in through the nose only. So you're just breathing in, you're not forcing it, you're not going aggressive. It's just a full inhalation through the nose. Once you feel full, again, don't force it. Don't try and clench in at any point where it starts to feel like you're taking in more than is necessary, but just a full inhalation through the nose, a tiny pause, and I'm talking about a second or so, and then a full exhalation slowly through the mouth, but with pursed lips, almost as if you're blowing out of a straw. So it would be in through the nose, a tiny pause, and out through that mouth. I would be doing it more extended than I just did in that quick example, as if you're blowing out of a straw. So that'll be the breath technique that we will start with once we get going here in just a second. So again, just in through the nose, a tiny pause, and out through the mouth, breathing out of a straw. From that, once you've done 2 or 3 cycles of it, return to your normal, natural breath, whatever feels calming, relaxing, natural for you, to just kind of be present in this guided meditation. One last thing I will say, I'm definitely of the mind, frame of mind when it comes to meditations. There is no such thing as a bad meditation or a bad meditated experience. I know a lot of people will often say, well, my mind never shut up, or I was started off good, but then I wandered and 5 minutes passed and I was thinking about my grocery list all of a sudden, and therefore I'm lost. No matter where your mind does or doesn't go, anytime you may find yourself drifting, don't get caught up in judging yourself and judging the experience to that point. Just bring yourself back to what is present. I will always be communicating with you, and your breath, more importantly, will always be there for you to redial into. So be patient with yourself, be loving with yourself, understand that the monkey mind loves to communicate at points, and that does not tarnish the overall experience that can be had here. Okay, so we're going to get started now. Again, this is a guided meditation to assist with releasing fear and anxiety. Once the process is done, please stay online. I'll be happy to answer any questions and to just kind of go through a couple other helpful things with all of you. But for now, just get into a comfortable position and close your eyes. And once you feel that you are ready, do 2 to 3 of those breaths. Again, in through the nose, a tiny pause, and out through the mouth as if you're blowing through a straw. We'll do 2 or 3 of those, and then I will guide you through this loving meditation. Enjoy. As you return to your natural and comforting breath, let your body sink into whatever surface you are currently sitting or laying on. Feel the weight of your body just sink in ever so slightly. Every part of your body that's making contact with a surface, whether it be predominantly your back or your bum, or whether it's your legs, your feet, your arms, feel them sink in. Release them. Let them truly relax into the comfort of that contact. There's no need for them to hold on to any weight or resistance. They can trust these surfaces and relax into these surfaces. And as you relax, I'd like to draw your attention to the center of your forehead, to the area where many will refer to as being where your third eye would be housed or is housed. But that center right in the middle of the forehead between your eyes. As you draw your energy and your attention there, I'm going to count up from 1 to 10. And as I say each number, I want you to visualize that number flashing 3 times in the center of your forehead. Each number is going to signify a deeper level of connectivity to this meditative process, a deeper level of connectivity to everyone participating in this process, and a deeper level of connectivity to your soul and your higher self, who's actively always looking to assist you in beautiful processes such as this. 1, see the number flash 3 times in the center of your forehead. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now at level 10, our connection to ourselves, to our higher selves, to our soul, and to each other has been strengthened. And at this time, I ask each of our individual souls, higher selves, to raise the vibrational frequency of every single cell in each of our bodies to the highest vibrational frequency we can each respectively handle at this time, bringing us up to our highest state of being and instigating a process where we are ready to let go and release so much of what creates unnecessary fear and anxiety in our lives. As that vibrational frequency rises, I also align all of our chakras, bringing each of them up to the highest vibrational frequency we can each individually handle, and strengthening their connection with one another so that they can all be readily available both in this process and beyond this process, allowing us to dial into and tap into the power of each of them in everything that we do. And now, with the intention of releasing that which causes us to feel fearful or to feel anxious or to enter states of anxiety or panic attack, I'd like you, keeping your attention in the center of your forehead, the same area where we just counted from 1 to 10, I want you to now visualize a thick stack of papers or post-it notes as if they are stuck to your forehead, blocking your third eye. This thick stack, each sheet of this paper or of each of these post-it notes represents a thought, program, or belief system that, whether it be through personal experience, various trauma points, or things that we've interacted with, that we've developed to lead us into believing that fear and anxiety are non-optional parts of our lives, that they are things that are out of our control and things that we must live with, rather than things that we are in control and can always move beyond. We visualize this stack because we are going to work through them. And having been connected through this process already, I dial into each of your individual triggers, those that are commonly experienced amongst those of us that are participating in this meditation at this time or participating in it at any point down the road. And as we dial into each of these triggers of fear or triggers of anxiety, I want you to visualize yourself peeling that sticky note or one of those sheets of paper off of your forehead, looking at it, seeing those words written on it, crumpling it up, and throwing it to the side where it's cast out to no longer be a part of your state of being or your reality. It is no longer serving. So as you see these sticky notes, we're going to begin this process. And the first sticky note that we pull off says that we cannot control what happens to us, and therefore we must be fearful. As real as this may feel, it is solely a belief that we do not need to opt into. We can choose to see control as something that provides us stability, or we can choose to see the natural unpredictability of life as what makes it exciting, as what keeps it colorful, as what brings so many moments of joy. So there is no fear to be found in not having control over everything that occurs. So we look at that paper, we look at the lack of control that seemingly exists in our lives, we crumple it up and we cast it aside. The next sheet says a fear of the unknown. There is always so much in this world beyond what we can comprehend or what is revealed to us. But to live in a state of fear of that which we do not comprehend only pulls us from the present moment and what actually is. So rather than fearing it, we trust that everything that comes into our lives, when it does come into our life, will be something that we will be able to handle, work through, and conquer. So we choose to react and feel in that way, rather than be fearful and project out of the present moment towards what could be or what seems to be, and instead choose to stay present. So we let that fear of the unknown, we crumple up that paper and cast it aside. The next one says a fear of loss. While loss can be such a painful and challenging part of life, and there's nothing wrong with it feeling that way, to have lost means to have also have gained, to have had so much with someone or something, things that all help to shape us into who we are today. And it is far more worth it to continue to connect, to experience, than to linger in feelings of loss for what once was or what we still wish was. It is not a sign of disrespect towards those we've lost. It is actually an ultimate sign of respect towards them, that we no longer fear losing, and as a result, we act with courage and love to live in the experience of everything as it happens, rather than the dread towards what it will be like when it is no longer there. So we let that fear of loss, we crumple up that sheet and we cast it aside. I'm seeing a fear of ridicule. We live in a world with over 7 billion people. And even though we may not interact with very many of them, it is very easy to get caught up, worried about what other people are going to think or how other people will see us, and to put ourselves into a tiny box, a comfort zone per se, as a result of that, just to minimize the chances that we will be ridiculed or stopped. Rather than living in that way, we choose to be our truest selves, to experience and to express as we naturally feel compelled to, whether that be in a big, a middle, or a little way. We choose to be ourselves, and knowing that the right people for us in each given moment will connect with that person, and those who are not meant to connect with it, we send them love and respect, but refuse to let their opposing views or opinions, whether or not they're actually there, to stop us from being our true selves. So we crumple up that sheet of the fear of ridicule, and we let that go. We crumple it up and cast it aside, setting ourselves free to be our true selves always. I'm seeing a fear of disease. Yes, we do live in a world where many of us are faced with multiple health and well-being hardships. But to live in perpetual fear of that, whether or not it is here yet or not, does not do us any good in our healing process. If we are meant to have the experience of a particular health condition, we choose to dial into a place of love and trust, and to seek out the support and the advice and everything possible to work towards conquering it from a place of love, rather than a fear of what it is going to destroy or take away, whether or not it has already happened. So we look at that sheet with the fear of disease, and we trust ourselves that should that come into our lives, or if it's already there, that we choose to approach it from a place of love and cast that aside, rather than from a place of fear, knowing that that does no harm, that does no good for us in the process. I'm seeing a fear of expression. This connects to one of the previous ones, but a fear to truly express as your heart compels you to. It can be scary if we let our minds dictate. It can be scary to put ourselves out there or to share our true feelings in certain circumstances or in certain ways. And while it may not be the calling for all of us to openly express ourselves and to put ourselves out there in a million ways, even if it's in the smallest ways, we choose to give ourselves the freedom to express, to be ourselves, to share, and trust that those who are meant to resonate with that which what we share will connect with it. So we crumple up that sheet with the fear of expression and we cast it aside, setting ourselves free to express and to be from a place of love. And that immediately connects to a fear of love itself. Love, such a beautiful expression, such a beautiful experience in this world, yet so many of us fear it because it requires a vulnerability. It requires a connection, and it comes in a world, in a package that can often lead to so much perceived heartbreak. But love, whether it be through friendship or any form of romance, or even any form of connection, is such an expansive and integral part of the human experience. So to fear love and to choose to cower away from it just to feel safe and secure, or supposedly safe and secure in who you are, is not the state of being we choose to dial into. We openly invite love, connect with love, and expand through it in every opportunity that we are given. So we take that sheet that says a fear of love, we crumple it up and we cast it aside, allowing ourselves to love freely both others and ourselves. As we shift gears from fear and to anxiety, although they are part and parcel of the same in a lot of ways. We dial into some of those triggers of anxiety. Whether it be particular feelings, thought patterns, or belief systems, I want you to now visualize yourself more rapidly pulling these pieces of paper or these post-it notes from the center of your forehead. Each sheet represents a moment in your life where you felt anxious. It could be a very prolific time where the anxiety got very out of control and was a full-blown anxiety attack. Or it could be a very minute point where you just started to feel anxious and as a result stepped out of being yourself, or anything in between. But each of these moments has plastered itself on top of your forehead, creating upon you the belief that anxiety is a very real, very present, and very prevalent part of your life. As much as this may seem like a number of times, when you compare it to the number of experiences that we have in life, it is such a small, finite amount. So we choose to rip off each of these sheets, to look at that moment, whether it be a big moment or a small moment where anxiety ran rampant in our mind, to respect it, to love it, to thank it for the experience that it was, but to crumple it up and cast it aside, knowing that that was an experience that was and does not need to dictate what is in this present moment. So pull those sheets from in front of the center of your forehead, each one representing a moment of anxiety, a moment of panic, or even more moments of fear. Each contributed to creating thoughts, programs, and belief systems to make you think that fear and anxiety are bigger than you, when in reality, they are just optional experiences that we always have the power to move beyond, and that we always dictate how much power and control we give them. And with each sheet that we crumple and pull away, we weaken the neuroplasticity and the neural pathways that exist within our brains that make us feel as if fear and anxiety are inevitable. And we free our mind to dial into who we actually are from a place of trust and love. As you pull off those final post-it notes or sheets from in front of your head, feel that release, feel a light, see a light emanating from your head. It's been quite a while since your intuitive third eye or your mind has been able to freely just see out into the world without having to look through the veil or the lens of fear and anxiety. Feel that freedom. Realize that everything moving forward that ever makes you feel like that freedom isn't there is simply a thought program or belief system that we can just as easily identify, crumple up, and cast aside to free ourselves once again to be ourselves. Feeling that light, I'd now like to quickly shift your attention straight to the center of your chest, where your heart is located. And in your chest, I want you to quickly just visualize a tree with very deep roots, a tree that's been planted there since the day that you were born. A tree with such vast roots regardless of your age. A tree that is always there, actively ready to be nourished. A tree that founds who you as a unique individual on this planet are. A tree that, when not blocked by thoughts, programs, and belief systems, allows you to tap into every branch of it. A branch with courage, a branch of confidence, a branch of creativity, a branch of love, both for others and yourself, a branch of connection, a branch of everything else that is uniquely you. Feel that tree. nourish that tree. Know that that tree is always there with deep roots dialed into who you are. And that just as there was experiences and thoughts and programs that made you believe that you needed to be fearful or anxious, you also always have access to this tree, which is fed by every single experience in your life where you proved yourself to be courageous or creative or confident or any of those key fundamental values that make you who you are. So whenever things get challenging, dial into that. Or start each day remembering that tree and the roots that it has and the power that you have and the great gift that you are as a human being. Breathe into your chest. Feel the strength and the beauty in being you. Give yourself a few more cycles of breath into that chest from a place of love. Strengthen that connection to that tree for all of us. And as we transition out of this meditative practice, we allow this reminder of this tree's existence, the deep roots that it has, to always be ever present within us, so that at any given moment in the future, should we feel fear, anxiety, or anything else that we choose to move beyond and not be conquered by, we can readily dial into the strength of this tree, which is inherently within all of us and beautifully present and available to us at all times. I'm going to count down now from 10 to 1. Once again, I invite you to visualize each number flashing 3 times in the center of your forehead. Each number is going to signify a disconnection from this meditative process while maintaining a connection to what we've gained from it. 10. See the number flash 3 times. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. When you feel ready, you can slowly open your eyes. I invite all of you to stay online with me for a few moments. I'm happy to stay with each of you to hear about your experience with this, to answer any questions. Now, for me, that was I always have a bit of a plan coming into these things, and I'll be honest, that meditation went completely different than I had planned, and in a far more beautiful way. It was something that I personally really enjoyed getting to lead, and I'm grateful to all of you for being open and for being present with this experience. I love when meditations kind of flow differently than what you had planned. It shows that it's just really intended to go a certain way, and that's a beautiful thing. So thank you for all of you who did join on. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free. I see some lovely emojis that seem to be, you were in and out sleeping. That happens. Again, like I said at the beginning of this meditation, there's nothing wrong with that. You always gain something from just having this intention and participating. I see a lot of thank yous. Thank you so much. Again, if anxiety is a very prevalent part of your life, I do have an online course that I'm happy to give anyone that's a part of the Heal community that tuned in tonight, either live or catches this on a replay. Just connect with me at Mark DeNicola here on Instagram. Send me a follow request and send me a message. I'm happy to send you a link to that, get you access to that course for just $10. Nothing like the retail price of it or whatever the case may be. I just want to make it freely available. It's filled with everything I use both for myself and others quite effectively to assist everyone with kind of curbing and conquering anxiety as it arises. Only caught the end there to count the countdown. That's a very, very powerful tool. I encourage all of you, even beyond in your own meditations, to use the countdown as a really effective way to dial in a very visual, a very connective way to really focus. Because a lot of the most difficult part for a lot of people in a meditation is that beginning, to just really focus in rather than letting your mind kind of dictate everything that's going on. So grateful to all of you. Again, my name is Mark DeNicola. Please, can you send it to me for anxiety support? Please connect with me. I'm going to put my handle here again because it's easiest for me, but I will go through these comments again just to kind of make sure I catch everyone. If it's accessible, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to assist all of you in any way that I can. I've just shared my handle over there. I know a bunch of you are reaching out. Send a friend a follow request to me here on Instagram. I'll happily connect with you. But my deepest gratitude to all of you. Of course, and to also heal to Kelly, to Adam, and to everyone on this team for giving me this opportunity to share with you. I look forward to being with you all again in future weeks. Next week, it'll be Adam. I believe he's back on. It's either Adam or Lexi who will be with. Actually, no, Lexi's next week. Adam's the following week. Also, be sure to check out, we have a new episode of the podcast opening or launching tonight / tomorrow morning, depending where you are in the world. It's a brand new episode with David Reed with from Man of Vitality. Definitely a must watch or a must listen to on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube. It'll be readily available on all of them. So be sure to check that out. It's a beautiful episode with Kelly and David. So thank you so much to all of you. Thank you, Zendra. Thank you to everyone for tuning in from all the different places that you did. I look forward to connecting with you again in the future. And I hope that this proved very helpful for you. And I look forward to connecting with you beyond this meditative practice. So speak with you all soon and have a beautiful day. Thanks.